for another match of Vintage with Bugfish. Mr. Stephen Menendian was kind enough to ask us for a rematch, so here we are with another exciting hand with this deck. We finally get to have Deathrite Shaman turn 1 on the play, which is sweet, because card's just awesome. And we even have the Strip Mine plus Dark Confidant opener. Ugh. Or not. I guess we'll just tap our Strip Mine and cast Dark Confidant the normal way. So, he asked for a rematch. My initial read from just like having read some about what he does is that he was playing like Rug, Pyromancer, Gush, Fastbond. So it will be interesting to see whether or not like that's borne out by evidence. But yeah, this is obviously going very well for him. I think it's likely that this gets bolted, but maybe not. He F6'd, so didn't have a bolt, which is sweet. We are working with no blue mana, however, so, and no Force of Will, so we're sort of at the mercy of whatever it is that our opponent is doing. I can envision a world in which, like, this turn ends with us getting stormed out. It's also very interesting that our opponent immediately used Lotus for triple blue with Island and Tropical Island in play. But, you know, obviously, I'm sure he has his reasons. I'm just interested to see what they are. I'm guessing that that means he has a bunch of reactive spells in his hand. Like, you use Lotus if you're sure that you have a way to use all of the Lotus mana this turn and you want to keep your lands untapped in a decent number of situations. So he goes bottom top in both situations, casts Young Pyromancer, and Delver of Secrets. Okay. We would like a land. That's not really a land. That is. Okay. So, we are not well equipped to deal with a Young Pyromancer. So we're going to take that out with extreme prejudice. It's possible that like we just get misdirected and our game ends on the spot. Oh look, we got misdirected and our game ended on the spot. Jesus, wow, this is just disgusting. Well, that turn probably couldn't have gone worse. And yeah, caps it off by casting Gush. We're done here. So, we played against this in our first match, and what we learned is that we have to, like, we get outdrawn going late. They have a bunch of answers to Bob, and they aren't particularly reliant on artifacts. So, null rods can come out. Deathrite Shaman's probably going to work overtime. Trigon Predator not very good. True Name Nemesis probably just fine. I think we have to Thoughtseize them. I think we're just playing a much more aggressive game than we think, than I thought originally. And so, like, we just want to be a blue-black deck trying to steamroll them in cards. Losing a fight over Ancestral is just, like, really bad for us. And it's really hard to, like, win that fight given how counter-dense they are. And especially given that, like, Pyromancer and Delver are both cards that we have to deal with. So, like, if we focus on their threats, eventually they're just going to, like, Gush Bond us into the ground. So I think I was right earlier, and Force of Will is just, like, not a card that we want. And I look forward to getting lit up in the forums about this, but, like, I don't think that we can afford to just, like, have Force in our deck. Meanwhile, over here in this corner, we're going to keep a mana-heavy hand with Deathrite Shaman and Flusterstorm and Strip Mine. So we're going to have the ability to protect Deathrite with Flusterstorm from either Misstep or similar. We're going to get Bayou so that we can activate both ends, and then we have Flusterstorm to guard against our opponent just, like, rolling off an Ancestral. I don't think we can afford to let our opponent Lightning Bolt this. Like, the rest of our hand is lands, and we are going to need this to do some serious work. Also, I can't stop thinking about Cedric telling me to cut Black Lotus, and me being like, no, you're stupid, it's awesome. And this happening. Also, we're going to Deathrite his Lightning Bolt in his upkeep, assuming that he flips. Did we miss a land? Oh, no, we had Strip Mine, that's right. I was about to say, did I forget to play a land? That would be really awkward. So he has Pierce, but not the mana to play it. And we're, like, flooded in the very technical sense. This is not a good Black Lotus deck. That might mean that it's not a good vintage deck, but I think it's a sweet vintage deck. I also think that we have to draw a removal spell really soon or we're going to die. I'm happy missing a point on Deathrite Shaman if it means just like having the ability to eat any spell that he casts in his turn. Also, flipping Recall to Delver probably a pretty good feeling. Okay, we cannot win. That is game. Yeah, just super dead. Can't possibly beat Recall plus double Delver. Especially with just like no real action. Like there's literally not a card in our deck that saves us there. So it would appear to be the case that Rug is favored against Bug. Okay. I look forward to seeing what someone who's very clearly better than me at the format has to say about my lines, especially given that, like, I don't really know what's important. Okay, so preventing him from getting to 2 mana apparently pretty important so that he can't gush. Okay. I'm learning a lot. I hope that you guys are learning a lot. Right, okay. Okay. I'll separate this into another recording, but I'll be back in just a sec.